Hey y'all, hey, it's been a little while. We're gonna see if we get this situation going. Karen Sims, Twisted Threads. Y'all already know. Probably still official, Miss Everywhere. That's all I got to say on that, because literally you never know where I'm gonna be. But wanted to get on here real quick. So it's been a word in my spirit, and it's specific to what I've been walking through in this season for probably the last 2.5 months, and that's the statement, "What you crying for?" And for those of us who grew up in a certain time, we may have heard that. Maybe not today's children. We a little bit more empathetic. We know how to use that emotional intelligence a little bit more. But whether you slipped and fell, maybe you spilled your ice cream, there was a couple of different things. And we would always hear the elders and the parents, and they would say, "What you crying for?" And we'd be like, "Oh no, I'm just crying." And so, in this season of maturity and adulthood, we have some moments where, we get overwhelmed and those tears come. But I'm reminded, because one of the things that this is the message that I kept getting back from God. For those of you who don't know, the challenges that I'm having right now with my eldest son and his recovery from his stroke a little bit over 2 months ago. And so we're actually creeping in onto month 3, and I'm seeing the progress and I'm seeing some things. But in the beginning, I promise you, every tear that a mother could ever cry and be like, "Lord, Lord, Lord." And then the one thing that comes along with it is that, yes, we worry, and tears come when we worry. But when we know that God has promised us and expected, and come on now, y'all, what are the tears for? And I promise you, this was in my prayer time, and I'm like, "Lord," all the things that you pray as you could imagine as a parent. And then the word came back, like, "What are you crying for?" Like, I promised you certain things, and not to say that anything can't be, diverted to taking us away from hard times. This is one of the roughest things that I've experienced outside of the loss of my mom, because it actually is very parallel, these places that God has me in. And then we had a little bit of a hiccup. Last week, Raymond had a seizure, and the reports came back fine. He was okay, but there was those moments, because I wasn't there physically with him when it happened, and I was like, "Oh Lord, I know." But here's the deal: I had already spent all weekend praising God for not just what He did, but also for what He is going to do. And usually, I come on here and I share inspiration. Y'all know I'm a church girl. For those who don't know, welcome to the ride. But I always have God in every place of my life. And so, especially where there's difficulties, we've been trained. We know it's automatic. "Ooh, Lord, fix it. Jesus, fix it." I want you to know that's an entire prayer for mothers, for fathers, for sisters, for brothers, for aunties, if you don't know what else. But here's the other thing. Our tears are also a prayer. And then sometimes God has got to remind us, like, I don't need your tears right now, because He's working on it. How about that? A lot of times we worry because we're like, "Lord, I don't know, what to do," when the instruction already came to us. Be still and know. I promise you, I'm working on a project, because the Lord dropped a song in my spirit the first weekend that we got the reports, and that message continues to carry me out. And I know, usually you would think, okay, yeah, that should be the description, be still and know. No, because after that, in that be still, it's like, "Well, Lord, I don't see it. I don't know what you gonna do. I know you promised me, but this is my baby boy." It's Karen's baby boy. Don't worry that it's not, that one and that one. It's Karen's baby boy. And then I'm reminded, and it made me feel like I did when I was 5 years old, and the parental said, "What you crying for?" Now, usually it came after and said, "Don't make me give you something to really cry for." And that memory jogged something in my spirit, because when we would hear those words from mom and dad, we'd be like, and we get it right together. Okay, I'm the only one. I know I'm not the only one, but we want to be reminded that although struggles may come, although difficulties are here and real in our life, listen, if we have had the privilege to make it to a certain age, one thing's for certain and for sure, we gonna find some difficulties in our lives. And with that, tears may come. When I got the report, I was actually driving to Raymond. So I was in the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, and I was like, okay, driving back to the Pittsburgh area on my way back. Come on, the enemy tried it. And I was like, Lord, and you can't cry and drive. For those of you who tried it, y'all already know this is a bad situation. So I'm sitting here and I'm letting the tears fall because I'm like, Lord, I'm already praising you for what you've done, and then the enemy gets angry and wants to have a tantrum. And the Lord reminded me in that time, and that's why I'm coming to you this way, because I got to stay in that, for those of you who are believers, and we hear that Psalm 91, that means you got to stay in that safety, in that area of safety. So this where I be. Y'all looking for me? That's where you're going to find me. What? In prayer, making sure that my mind is right, making sure that I'm ingesting the right things, making sure that I have the opportunity to appreciate those of you who are supporting me, who are lifting me up in some type of way. And I promise you, listen, there is nothing like seeing your squad move in formation when difficulties come. And so I bless the Lord for my squad. I bless the Lord, and I ain't gonna say too much because that's all. Alfred, you already know. Love you. It's a big deal for me during this time to make sure that the revelations that are coming to me, the maturation, the maturity process that comes, it's one of those things. And shout out to my brother, Andre, where we had a conversation yesterday and he straight cracked me up. I said, listen, bro, they lied. He was like, yeah, they tell you only got to take care of these kids till they 18. And now here we are grown with grown children, grandchildren, and still are mothering, still are fathering, still are in the midst of things. And we laugh about it. Thank God. But there's also a thing that happens. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in the coming weeks. And that is survivor's remorse. Because I've been experiencing that too. It's like, Lord, I thank you that you brought my son through, but somebody else's child didn't make it. Somebody else's family had to deal with hardship. And then you sit there and you are thankful that yours made it through. But what about the next person and how we manage that? Because a lot of times when people talk about grief, they rarely mention what happens that impacts us in that survivor's remorse. So I love y'all. I came on here to remind y'all, what you crying for? God got you. If you haven't built your formation, your squad, get them in formation literally and say, I promise you, most of the people in my squad are people who approach me. I am not the person for most of the folks that I'd be like, ooh, I like you. You come on and let me pin you on here. No, each of these people in my life were assigned, sent by God, and they literally let me know I am accepting the assignment to come alongside you, to come alongside your children, to come along on this, what we call crazy ride. And honey, what a ride it has been for anybody that is connected to me. Whether ups and downs, honey, we will laugh and cry in the same second together. I am overjoyed that I get the opportunity once again to fill my cup. I'm going to be on my way, me and my boo. Where we going? Y'all know my favorite date spot. Ow, we going to be in the house. Listen, I love worshiping with this man. And it's probably the reason why I love him as much as I do. I don't know what else to say. Maybe, y'all here for the abs and, and he buys the gifts. He does all of the things. But honey, it's something different about that worship. Need you to know. Get you one. That's all I got to say. Not mine, but, get you your own. What you crying for? God got you. He's taking you through literally worse. And I thank him for the messages that he gave to me, because literally it was like, and this time it's going to be better. And this time I did it before, but now what I'm about to do is going to literally blow your mind. And I'm sitting here and it's literally like I'm 5 years old again, like, okay, Lord, Thank you. And I wanted to share that with you all because some of y'all are literally going through the worst times of your life. You were like, I thought I had it together. I thought, I got the job. I got the car. I got the house. I got the things. And I promise you, here's the funny thing for us. Alfred and I are super movie people. And we watch one of the stupidest movies. Stupid. And of course, I get blamed because it's like a rom-com, so romantic comedy, and it was stupid. But there were so many lessons in the movie. And this is the thing. For many of you, God is trying to get a message to you, but you're too busy to listen. You won't take the time. And so he's got to what? Put it in the movies, put it in the book, put it in the drive-through, put it at the grocery store, wherever it is. Be reminded God is in control. Your tears can be a prayer, but if you've already prayed the prayer, you don't need the tears to add on it. Be confident in this thing. What God has started, he will surely finish. I love y'all. I'm about to go eat my breakfast, and then we gonna be out. Have an amazing day. If it's rain, sunshine, whatever the weather is in your area, listen, be the thermostat. Turn up, y'all. Love you. Till the next time. Karen Sims, The Twisted Threads.